Barbados, get up.
Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
And I say a terrific Thursday morning to you and you and you. Thank you so much for waking up to keep us company here on Morning Barbados. Good morning. I'm Pearson Bowen. Glad to have you company. It is already the 4th of December 2025. And if you're one of those who are going to do the mathematics on this, if today is the 4th and 25th is Christmas, you know you don't have a lot of time left still to get done everything you think you need to do to make your Christmas merry or merrier this year. To those of you watching us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, or our website, cbc.bb. We are grateful for your company. Thank you for joining us. Remember to share the show, share the love, tell others always about us, and encourage them to come be a part of it too. While you talk among yourselves, talk to us. We love to see your comments. And of course, if you know of something or someone whose story has to be told, then you have to tell us about it. And so because you know about it, send us an email. Send us an email to our email address on your screen, which is morningbarbados@cbc.bb. morningbarbados@cbc.bb. It's Thursday, and we don't say Thursday anymore here in the CBC. We say it's Q Day. That's because it's the fourth day of the week. And so the Q Day today, we're heading to the Oystins Bay Gardens today for Q in the Community. As you know, the activity starts in earnest from around 11. Our broadcast on radio starts from noon, but we are there till Thy Kingdom Come till tonight. And so prepare yourself to come out and have a really good time at a lime with friends and family and really soak up Barbadian hospitality for those guests on the island. So Q in the Community today, Oystins Bay Garden, 11 o'clock. You know where the Q bus is coming from. If you don't know, it's the Granville Williams Terminal Gate number 1. Drive and make your way there, or take the bus and make your way there, or if you're in the vicinity, walk into the area as well. But do not miss today's very special Q in the Community at the Oystins Bay Gardens. There's a lot to get to today. Today we continue our activism, joining the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And so we want to hear from the Barbados Association of Girl Scouts. What are they doing? How are they grooming and coaching our young ladies so that they themselves make wiser choices and that they understand the dynamics of relationships and so forth? So we'll talk to them in just a little while about that. We'll also today be hearing from the Barbados Muslim Women's Association of Muslim Wives. They'll join us this morning. They want to tell us a little bit about how they're raising awareness about the different forms of gender-based violence. And the Fair Trading Commission is about to launch a very special public outreach. What is that, you ask? We will hear from them this morning. But let's get started this morning by turning our attention to the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, looking at how we can all raise and amplify and bring greater focus to what really is happening in lots of relationships across this island. And so we go to the Girl Guides Association of Barbados because we're happy to be joined this morning by their Commissioner of Public Relations, and I turn like this because she's fancy, Miss Kimberly Skeet. Kimberly, good morning.
Good morning to you, Pearson, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And so this Commissioner of Public Relations, what's the job?
Exactly what it is. I am their public relations officer. I'm also a member of the Girl Guides Association. So I deal with blossoms in particular, but we also help to raise that level of awareness from the ground up. So from as little as the blossoms who are about 4 or 5 years old, right up to our rangers, we are developing young women who are becoming confident, who are enterprising, who are also learning the whole concept of the sisterhood. And sisterhood means then that inclusivity. So you will not find yourself as a true sister in girl guiding being prejudiced. You wouldn't or shouldn't find yourself in the habit of trying to bully, whether it is in person or the same cyberbullying. So we play our role, but we make sure that depending on the age bracket, we're able to educate our young girls to become the best young ladies that they can be.
So the information shared is shared in an age-appropriate way.
Yes.
With the Blossoms, the tiniest of lot, all up to the Rangers. And the
Yes.
Rangers is the highest
Yes.
designation. And you are therefore a Ranger yourself?
No, Rangers would be the highest in the junior rank,
Okay.
but then Guiders are the leaders within the association.
All right. Thanks for the clarity where that's
Yes.
concerned. Break it down for me here now. When you meet with these little tiny minds who don't quite understand yet the dynamics of relationships, or perhaps they do, what do you hear them say back to you when you begin to share with them the messages that you want them to take in so that they are better able to relate with others, whether they know them or not?
Well, interestingly enough, tiny tots are the ones that are more open, and it's not because they're sponges, but it's because as children, we don't have the prejudice. We're already, friendly. I meet you as a little girl, we become friends, and at the end of the day, even if we disagree, we still come back together. So the whole concept of being able to stamp out bullying, or even where you single out persons or any prejudices, that is easier with the younger ones. It's as we get older that it then becomes a little bit more difficult, and then you have to instill certain practices. And the golden rule starts to really rear its head in a positive way if you look at it, because what I don't want for me, I shouldn't do to you.
But children are also witnesses to what they see as domestic violence in their homes,
Yes.
gender-based violence, whether it is woman against man or man against woman or boy against girl, whatever the relationship is. Do they come sometimes and say, ma'am, this is what I see, this is what I've experienced? Do you have those kinds of encounters with them?
That can happen, and within the association there are various programs that have been created to help us also be on our toes to recognize some of these signs, and to also help guide our children either in the right direction or to someone if they need additional help or care in that regard.
So there's hope.
There is hope.
And so you see, therefore, the education, because you can tell when someone gets it. You watch them and you can see the change in behavior.
Yes.
Are you seeing, as a consequence of the activities that you're doing to raise awareness, that change in their attitudes, that change in their behavior as they grow?
We do. In fact, when you have that level of dedication coming from young people who are part of the organization, you see that level of commitment, and also being able to foster that not only within the organization, but also outside of the organization. Hence our hashtag Orange to the World. During our 16 days of activism, that is our color. And we don't only wear and represent it, but we also make sure that we focus on the things that can steer our young people away from gender-based violence. And we know it is a reality. We know it is something that persons are experiencing. Some of us experience it silently, but by the same token, we create those kind of mechanisms to cope with the situation so that you can talk to somebody. Because if you don't, then it just becomes a cycle.
Yeah. The scars are sometimes visible, but the scars are mostly invisible.
Exactly.
And so it's to be able to see where the hurt is and to offer the place where they can find salve and salvation and perhaps some restitution as well. And so the organization has designed itself, the Girls Guides Association of Barbados, let me get it right.
Yes,
Girls
that's
Guides,
it.
I was right.
Yes.
And in such a way that girls lean on girls, girls lean on women for guidance and for assistance and the like as they're going. So you're built to help them develop and grow to be responsible or responsive women in our society. But for the older ages, what are you seeing being played out from them as they too now struggle with the realities that they may have?
Pearson, I think that still needs a rewind. And the reason why I say that is a lot of statistics has shown that a lot of persons who accept to be in a domestic abusive situation, whether it's relationship or family situation, it often stems from the belief that they cannot do any better. your own self-confidence, your own self-esteem is at risk and at play. So with regard to our more seasoned persons within the organization, we too need to have a healthy self-esteem. We too need to be a part of things that help to grow and develop that self-esteem. Every once in a while, that can get a little hit, a little knock, but being able to foster that also helps to create the level of confidence to say, you know what, this is not right. This is not for me. I need to talk to somebody.
Values. And so a lot of you young people tend to live in the digital space because part of the focus of this campaign this year is what happens in that digital space. And so because the charges that you have responsibility for are also there, they navigate that far better than you or me. And so how are you beginning to teach them responsibility in how they live in that digital space?
Well, we've created quite a few areas or programs for our young people to be guided by. We have the Surf Smart program. Obviously, the name speaks for itself. Being very aware when you go online. We know even in gaming, I don't know how familiar you are with some of the gaming, including, some of the most recent ones where persons can go online, they play games, and they might think that they're online with another child when they might be online with an adult. So we're trying to get our children to be aware of these things. We also want to get parents aware because, as you said rightly, our children are a lot more tech savvy. We don't want the parents to be left behind. We want that if you as daddy have your children playing games online, that you can also monitor what it is that they get into, what are the kind of conversations, what are the type of games that are being played. So Surf Smart is one of them. We also want to make our children aware of digital grooming, because that can happen online as well. For those who are not aware, where you might innocently go to play a game, maybe on My Street or some of the other games that they have, and some of the questions that might be asked or the conversations that might be started up are not age appropriate, but you respond in your innocence. We want our children to recognize these signs. So that's just two of them. I mentioned self-confidence, free being me, and action on body confidence. If you have a healthy self-esteem, no one can steer you in the wrong direction. You can tell when it's going the wrong way. So these are but a few of the programs that we have on stream.
The self-esteem of which you speak is, to my mind, sometimes the grooming of it, a reflection of what you observe, a reflection of what other people around you are doing,
Yes.
and you understanding your space within that particular dynamic. But the girls coming to the Girl Guides Association of Barbados, are they coming to the Girl Guides Association of Barbados? But the parents at home are doing something completely different from the values in which you instill. What do you see happening there? Do you see girls acting out?
Sometimes we do, and I have a fellow guider that says to me, when I see that, this is the time for me to embrace them even more. And I've taken what she said to heart. So if children do act out, from my interpretation, you try to embrace them, not just embrace them by accepting what it is that they're doing, but it isn't every child that behaves badly that you report and say, do not come back. This is the time to try to get to the root of the problem. And while you might not get to it yet, have them feel a level of acceptance that you are still a part of us and we are not leaving you behind.
That's an excellent point to make indeed. And so for those young ladies who are watching who are already a part of the Girl Guides Association of Barbados and didn't know, now you know. You can reach out to any of your guiders and they will embrace you. They will help you to navigate the challenges that you're facing, providing you with options that you can explore to become far more self-aware. And even in that self-awareness to see how you can adjust your behavior to make it a far more comfortable space in which to live. Kimberly, thank you so much. And to the Girls Guides Association of Barbados, thank you for being able to provide that space where our young women are nurtured so that they too become better people as they grow. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
You're welcome. Kimberly Skeet, who is the Commissioner of Public Relations for the Girl Guides Association of Barbados. Remember, they have some programs on. If you're a member of the organization, or if you are not yet, you can volunteer. And you can volunteer in lending all of your expertise and experience to ensuring that we inculcate in our young girls just what it means to know self, to be confident in self, to be responsible in self and in kind to those in your relationships as well. Morning Barbados is back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Take CBC everywhere you go. Just one click to www.cbc.bb and you can watch TV8 live or listen to your favorite radio station. Enjoy the energy of 98.1 FM, quality talk and music on Q100.7 FM, and the great vibes of 94.7 FM. Go now to cbc.bb. Log on, stay on, be informed, and be entertained.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
18 and a half minutes after 6 o'clock this Q Day, Thursday, the 4th of December. Reflect for just a moment with me, because last Sunday at Kensington Oval, Barbados witnessed the installation of its second president, the most honorable Jeffrey Bostic, His Excellency. And so in accepting his ascension to presidency, he also took the time to give a speech to the nation. And a lot of it focused on where he's come from, and he talked about that journey to where he is today, messages for our young people. We thought we should share that with you again today. So take a look.
Dame Sandra Mason has completed her leg of the relay, and she has done so in such a glorious way that she has passed the baton to me already with a commanding lead that allows me to build on her legacy. Madam President, your legacy will guide and continue to inspire me as I build on the firm foundation which you laid. On behalf of the government and people of Barbados, I extend our sincere gratitude to you and wish you well in your future. We know that your enduring loyalty to the Republic will continue to be expressed through service of the highest order. The journey that shaped me. The office of the President is my current destination, and I am immensely proud to serve my country at the highest level. But my focus this morning and throughout my tenure is the journey that brought me here. From Chapman Lane to State House, what an epic journey. I stand before you today not as a son of privilege, but as a son shaped by this magnificent city. From modest beginnings to achievements I could scarcely have imagined. Not as a man of rank, but as a man of duty. Not as a politician, but as the son of our enduring republic. I am a very proud product of a community that comprised Chapman and Emerton Lanes, Lakes Folly, Mason Hall and Reed Streets, Cats Castle, Kensington New Road, and New Orleans. But my navel string is buried in Chapman Lane, which is by far the best place that I have ever lived. It is the community that nurtured me, supported me, and pushed me to be my best self. From the neighbors who became like family, to the mentors who guided me, to the friends who stood by me through thick and thin, I am who I am because of the village that raised me. My community, characterized by caring and sharing, taught me the value of hard work, the importance of kindness, and the power of compassion. It showed me that we are stronger together, that we rise and fall as one. If I could share the spirit of Chapman and Emerton Lanes in one sentence, it would be that those who had little willingly and lovingly shared with those who had nothing. And so, this presidency is dedicated to Miss Rosalie Carter, the mother of the most Honorable Anthony Gabby Carter, who was my mother's midwife and the first person to hold me. To overlay the foundational and transformational family style, and a challenge to every young Bajan to rise above their circumstances. We must ensure family connecting with us across the digital world. The architects of my journey, and I have kept the best for last, because this is the one that could cause me to become very emotional, which is not the norm for me or with me. But my deepest and dearest gratitude goes to my family, who are the true pillars of my journey. To my children and grandchildren, who I love most dearly, the ones who sacrificed and suffered the most on the many occasions when national duty required me to be absent from them, the ones who had to share me with the country we all love. I say a big thank you for staying the course with me. And this is from Bobby and Daddy with love. To my father, with his mobility issues, who traveled from Pennsylvania to celebrate this day with me. To my siblings, and I have to say especially, I don't want to say my new mother, but I think that she believes she is. And I'm speaking of my dear sister, Heather Douglas, who traveled from the UK to celebrate with me this day. And all the other siblings that I have, I know that life circumstances have scattered us, and this has always been part of the journey. But we continue to share an unbreakable bond which can never be undone by circumstances nor distance. And to the remainder of my family and extended family, I cherish and love you all. Thank you for traveling this journey with me. But my one deep regret here today is the fact that after Almighty God, the mortal architect of my journey, could not be present to see me climb the stairs of Parliament, nor be sworn in as Minister of Government, nor indeed to see Marita's son make the journey from Chapman Lane to State House. I speak about one of the greatest domestic economists that ever lived, my beloved mother, Sheila Marita Bostic. I can still hear your voice saying, "This is all I have to give you today, so try and make it do." Or hear you during the late hours of the night saying, "Lord, what am I going to cook tomorrow?" I know it was a struggle to get me through secondary school, but the resilience I now have, I found in you. You are not here, but you are always with me, and will be with me as I climb these new stairs. Now, to him who is able to keep me from falling and to present me faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy, To the only wise God, my Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power. I could not leave this podium without addressing our young people. And I say that because this is not about, for me, it's not about the destination of the presidency. I spoke to the journey, a journey that a lot of you also have to take and have been taking. But we have some issues that we have to resolve. And I want to reach out to you this morning, and this for me is the greatest thing that I'm going to say today. My mission is to follow the example of those who guided me, to be a mentor to the generation next in line. So I am therefore going to be launching the Chapman Challenge. And this is not a program, not just a program. It is a national call to action. It is a challenge to every adult to guide a child, and a challenge to every young Bajan to rise above their circumstances. We must ensure that every child has the guidance to become a model citizen. To our young people, I say, set your sights high. Do not retreat from your destiny, nor surrender yourself to those things which harm your ambition. But a challenge requires a structure. A vision requires a vehicle. And so the Chapman Challenge will not be a distant initiative run from an office in Bridgetown. It will live and breathe where our people live, in the communities that need it most. In every parish of this nation, from cliffs of St. Lucie to the fields of St. Philip, there are young men and women waiting for a signal. They are waiting for someone to believe in them. To find them, we will identify parish councillors across the island, leaders and institutions within your own villages who know the heartbeat of the community. They will search for our challengers, who are the young people ready to rise. But a climber needs a rope, and a ship needs stability. And so I am calling for an army of anchors. We need men and women of experience to step forward. We need the churches and other faith-based organizations to step forward. We need sporting and cultural organizations to step forward. We need you to be the steady hand that prevents a drift. We need you to hold the line for a child who is trying to find his or her way. And the philosophy of this mission is very simple. It is written in the very geography of our island. My own journey began on the flat, humble pavement of Chapman Lane, but it did not end there. And so, our national motto for this mission shall be from the lane to Hillaby. We acknowledge that many of you start in the lane, in the tough spots, in the valleys, in the shadows, but we believe that with the right anchor and the right will, you can reach the peak of your potential. And we will celebrate your achievements. Every year at State House, we will present the twin awards of the Chapman Challenge. We will present the Anchor Award to the mentor who stood firm, who gave their time, and who saved a future. And we will present the Hillaby Award to the young challenger who climbed the highest, who overcame the odds, and who reached their personal summit. This is my promise to you. If you are willing to climb, we will provide the rope. From the lane to Hillaby, let the work begin. To my Caribbean family, Barbados will remain a loyal and leading vessel in the fleet of CARICOM nations. To the rest of the world, Barbados will continue to speak clearly, guided by the words of the Right Excellent Errol Walton Barrow, friends of all, satellites of none. Let us go forward with dignity, discipline, and quiet resolve. Barbados, let us be firm craftsmen of our faith. Let us be the generation that turns resolve into renewal, service into strength, and purpose into prosperity. Happy Independence Day. May God bless our republic. and may God continue to bless our Caribbean.
If you're prepared to climb, we will provide the ropes. Some of the words I recalled from the speech given there by His Excellency, the Most Honorable Jeffrey Bostic, President of Barbados, in his speech after being installed as the second President of Barbados last Sunday, Independence Day. A lot to learn from and a lot to do. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Fair Trading Commission is about to launch a public outreach. I know you ask yourself, what will that outreach look like? What are they outreaching for? All of those kinds of questions we will want to have answers to now. And we'll also hear a little bit more about how we consumers have the power in hand. And so we'll talk to them a little bit about that as well. So joining me is Brian Reese, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Fair Trading Commission. Next to him is Kathy Ann Bell, the Acting Director of Utility Regulation. And across from me is good friend David Leslie Ward, who is the Consumer Protection Director. To each of you, good morning.
Good morning to you, Pearson.
Mr. Reese, I'll start with you. Why this outreach? Why now? And what form will it take?
Sure. Thanks very much for having us this morning. Well, I guess you could say for obvious reasons, this is a point in time in the year when Barbadians are more likely to exercise their spending power. They're more likely to get out there and offer an opportunity for the services and the goods in Barbados to prosper in terms of their exchange. And we want to make sure that they are equally armed with the providers of those services and goods in Barbados. We want to make sure that they understand what their rights and responsibilities are, because at this heightened time, we sometimes call it a silly season. We don't want persons to act in a silly manner. And that's really why we're trying to get out there. We want to make sure that we're engaging with people and people can ask us questions if they have them, and we can provide that guidance to equally arm them.
Are you also engaging with the seller of services?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
And so how is this going to work? Are you going into shops and places and engaging with the sellers and buyers?
That is exactly what we intend to do. We do not want it to seem as though the FTC is cloistered within an area where persons cannot reach them. We want to make sure that we are engaging with not only the consumer, but as you've correctly pointed out, with those persons who are offering the services, because we believe that both parts of the equation need to understand their rights and their responsibilities so that the equation and the system can work better.
This is not the first time you're doing this.
No, it is not at all.
It's just a continuation of this effort in trying to bring awareness of rights and responsibilities.
Correct.
So based on past experience, you think it's still necessary that we do this?
Of course. I think as we have younger people coming into the market, and even, a point I'd make to you is that retraining is also very critical. Understanding something is one thing, but then continually being reinformed adds to the value that can be gained in that understanding.
And it's towards having a sense of maturity in how one interacts and trades.
Of course.
Are you seeing that growth, that difference, that change in behavior?
I do believe we are. I believe that businesses better understand what their responsibilities are. And because of the fact that consumers understand, which is critical, then businesses are encouraged to pursue an approach that is fair, that is equitable. At the end of the day, we hear of consumer protection and we think it is one-sided, but consumer protection is really, as I said before, that equation working well together. Both sides of the equation understanding rights and responsibilities, because both have those encumbered upon them.
And naturally, when something happens, you ask yourself, then to whom do I turn? So, Deva, to whom do I turn if I've encountered, whether it's a defective product or some poor service?
Well, that's a really good question, and I'm glad that you asked that, Pearson, because there are actually two consumer protection agencies who deal with various consumer issues. So if you have a defective product specifically and you want to have that item repaired, replaced, or refunded, the Office of the Public Counsel, they deal with those issues. But there are other matters that really belong to us. And some of those matters that we tend to encounter at this particular time of the year. We have our top three, I would say. First of all, is buyer's remorse. We tend to have a lot of people who admittedly go into a store very, very happy with the purchase, but then they go about 3 stores down, go inside and realize they found the same item much cheaper. Then they contact the commission and say, listen, can I get a refund? And unfortunately, if you've just changed your mind about the product and there's nothing wrong with it, we cannot require the seller to give you back your money. In a case like that, it's not that we don't try to help, but we are more trying to negotiate and try to mediate in a situation like that one. We also find that, this is a time where, particularly the ladies and some gents too like to go and do a lot of curtain shopping and making sure that the sheets and the curtain and the mat and everything match. But the challenge there is that sometimes, you have in your mind a particular color, but then when you go home and you actually match the things, the wrong color, they don't quite match. So in a case like that, what we tell consumers is always ask about the return policies up front. Because if you know what the return policies are, then if you make a little mistake like that, you can know which seller you can go and return, or if you should tell yourself, okay, let me just hold off of this one.
On that return policy initiative, because there's some people who will say to you, I asked, they said yes, but then when I went back, they said to me, no, we're not doing any refund for you. We're not doing any form of exchange here at all. Is that fair?
In a case like that, particularly when we get a call, we would always reach out to the business. Because if you have made a promise to the consumer and the consumer really acts under that inducement, it really would be quite unfair at that point in time to then tell the consumer you're not going to do something. But in order to try to mitigate these types of challenges, what we do in terms of the same outreach that the CEO mentioned, when we go there and we talk to the sellers, we advise them to make sure that they have written policies. And we ask the consumers, look out for those policies, because when you see them, there's nothing wrong with taking a little snap so that when you do have a challenge, you can then refer to that. So it is not a case where, as the CEO said, we just talk to the consumers and leave off the businesses. And that is one of the initiatives that we are really working on, particularly in the year coming up, where we're going to be going out and getting out there to the businesses all across the island. Because we recognize if we have a training sessions, people can't stop their businesses to come to us. We have to go out there to them, and by letting them know what their responsibilities are, it helps to make sure that the consumers are protected.
'Tis the season of hire purchase.
Yes.
'Tis the season of online shopping.
Yes.
And while for a lot of people there's a glorious activity, at the same time there's some danger. So let's talk a little bit about what you would want consumers this year in particular to start paying closer attention to.
Well, a few things. When you're online shopping, let me first say there are a lot of legitimate businesses in Barbados that promote online shopping. We want you to shop and have a good time. I like to shop and have a good time. But at the same time, you know, there are some scams, so you have to be careful. So if you are dealing with a reputable business, someone that is a business that is well known, that we all frequent, you know, you still take the necessary precautions. You make sure you use a secure payment option. Check the URL of the website to make sure you are on the correct website and that it is not a fake one. And even if it is a business that you are not au fait with, there's still certain things you can do. You see a deal, it looks enticing, but check it. When was the last time they posted on social media? Because a lot of people do businesses from their social media page. Do they post stories of their happy customers? And go a little bit further beyond that. Make sure that they have a number you can contact if something goes wrong, or do an independent search, like go to Google, put in the business's name and see if there are reviews. So that at the end of the day, you can feel satisfied within your mind that you're giving to a reputable business. And even when you're going to pay, if this is a business that you don't know very well, I would not advise consumers to make a direct payment from your account to theirs. What would be a better option is to pay with a credit card, so that if there is a challenge, you can always dispute that charge.
Yeah. And so hire purchase though, how do we manage that now? Because we get excited, we hear, buy it now, you can have this now, pay me next year. And you ask yourself, okay, I want this, so I'll get it now, but what do I do when something happens?
Well, I'll tell you, admittedly, even me can look at these things and get really excited by them, particularly when you see that they have credits. They offer these really massive discounts. What I would say in a case like that is to really slow down. First of all, because you see something that seems to be a good deal, it does not necessarily mean that it is. You really have to do something that I hate, which is to do the math. You have to really check to look to see whether, okay, when you calculate the interest payment, the fees, the delivery, all of the additional costs, is this really going to be a good deal for you at the end of the day? And I know one of the other tactics that they use is they offer, as I said, the massive discounts. But is this really a discount? Compare, go around and shop around, because what is a massive discount at one place is a regular price at another place. So you really have to be careful, and there's a lot of discernment that you have to use as a consumer.
So consumer, you need to really ready and arm yourself with what's necessary indeed. The other thing we tend to do at this time of year as well is we lean a lot, let's say the Barbados Light and Power Company, because we use a lot of electricity. We do a lot of those kinds of things as it relates to our major utility services. So from where you sit, where did your name go, Kathy? And talk to me about some of the things in this public outreach that you think us or even the utility companies need to put in place so that we are mindful that we have a happy Christmas.
So with respect to the utility companies, one of the things that we need to pay attention to is monitoring our usage, and with respect especially to electricity, every house comes with a meter. Pay attention to what that meter is. Look at your meter and see what it's saying, and if you keep information on a running basis, you can compare every month from month, and then you can say in 1 month you're looking to see why is my usage, the usage being the difference between the previous month's number and this month's number. Why is this number specifically heavy? What am I using? And also you think about the items in your house that are pulling the high levels of energy usage, like anything that generates heat pulls a lot of electricity, and you consider that every time you use a lot of heavy duty usages, that costs you money. And it gives you an opportunity then to cut back and say, well, I maybe want to bake lots of things together instead of baking one thing at a time. And so the intention really is to pay attention to the meters on your house that monitor the energy or the water that you're using. Pay attention to your water usage. Keep the numbers written down so that you can compare month to month. And look at your bills as well to look at that information, because you can see from this month to last month, my water bill, my usage went up. It possibly means that you have a leak in your house. So now you go around to your house, you look at your toilets, you listen to hear when there is something that is just running. That creates a problem, that costs money, that is energy, that is water that you do not want to have to be paying for.
standards of service? Because in engaging with you, I expect a certain consistency and level of service from you. Are regulators today, and especially at Christmas, meeting those standards of service?
So the Fair Trading Commission, we monitor standards on behalf of the public of Barbados. We have standards in place for all three of our utility companies, the Barbados Light and Power, the Barbados Water Authority, as well as the Cable and Wireless. With Cable and Wireless, we only regulate landline services. We do not regulate mobile. We do not regulate broadband at this point in time. But we monitor those standards on behalf of the utility companies. And we do that on an ongoing basis, in that we look at the information on a quarterly, we look at the information that they provide us on a quarterly basis. And additionally, on an annual basis, we look at the entire information, their performance, and we publish that information out to the public. We recently published one for the Barbados Water Authority. Then on a 3-year cycle, we would review the entire standards of service process to make sure that the standards that we have in place are relevant, that they are performing in a manner that we want them to perform, if we want to tighten those standards, or we want to loosen those standards, or if we want to replace those standards. So we monitor those standards, and we are actually going into a process where at the end of a 3-year cycle, towards the end of a 3-year cycle, and we're going into the process of reviewing those standards again for all 3 utilities. And this is an opportunity as well for us to actually engage the public, because we want the public to be well engaged in the process of setting those standards and determining what standards they think are appropriate.
In setting that standard and helping you to set that standard as well, is that providing me with a guarantee? Or that's something totally different?
Okay, so there are 2 sets of standards. There are the guaranteed standards and the overall standards. The guaranteed standards, those standards are those are the ones that you can get actually a refund for. So for example, if you GTS, let me just get my numbers, GTS 1 or 2 or 3, there is, if the utility company does not meet that standard, then you are entitled to a refund. Some of those refunds you have to actually ask for. You don't automatically get them. Some of them are automatic, but you have to ask for some of those refunds. Those are guaranteed standards. With respect to overall standards now, those ones you don't get a refund for. Those ones look at the performance of the utility companies as a whole.
What I would say as well, is that we want to try to make sure, as Kathy said, that persons better appreciate what those standards are. Very often people assume that because we are monitoring them, that there's no responsibility on the consumer's end. But we do think that the consumer needs to be very, very careful in terms of identifying where the non-compliance exists, informing either us or, more especially, believe this or not, inform the utility first that this standard has not been met. And if we are assured of the fact that these things are being reported, then we can better verify whether or not the reporting from the utility is accurate, and therefore if it is non-compliant, then we can better pursue it in the interests of the consumer's needs. So it is really very critical that we engage with the public, as I said before, to educate, but also to encourage the utilities and other service providers, with the encouragement. I hate to use the word again. I'd like to use that word though, with the encouragement to do better. We're looking for an environment where everyone does better, and with continuous improvement, we can create a better environment for consumers.
And that's why this outreach is on with continuous education, so that we're all more aware of our rights, responsibilities, and the. I was going to say something else, but the opportunities that exist once we raise an alarm, so to speak. Yeah. So let's take this seriously. The campaign has started, or is it launching shortly?
So we're actually, I would say it has launched already, because we've had some radio programming opportunities, but then we're having a major outreach tomorrow in Hero Square. So we'll be in Hero Square tomorrow from 9:30 a.m. through until 2:30 in the afternoon, trying to engage with passers-by, trying to encourage businesses who have queries to come and engage with us. If you're free at any point in time, come and spend some time with us. We want to make sure that we are out there, as I said. We are not existing in some palace far away, far away. We are here working with Barbadians, working with Barbadian businesses to make both sides of the coin better in what they do.
We appreciate that indeed. So tomorrow in Hero Square from 9:30 till about 2:30, you have hours in which you can engage with the folks from the Barbados, from the Fair Trading Commission, and get to know more your rights, get to know more your responsibilities. And for you business people, don't think it's the time for you to stay in your spaces and watch on. Come down to and ask them some questions. It's a partnership. I think, and I can honestly say this for Barbadians, that we have grown up as a mature society now, and we respect the work of the FTC. We see the fairness in the name that you carry. And so we want to thank you for continuing to be the partners in fairness for how we do business in Barbados, one with the other as well. So thank you so very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome. Brian Reese, the Chief Executive Officer, Kathy Ann Bell, Acting Director of Utility Regulations, and David Leslie Ward, Consumer Protection Director with the Fair Trading Commission. Remember, the season of fairness is on, and so tomorrow in Heroes Square there's an opportunity for all of us to come to know more about our rights and responsibilities as they engage with us, the public. And we want to encourage as many of you as possible to walk on by, but don't just walk past. Stop and spend some time engaging with the officers of the Fair Trading Commission tomorrow. And that's only just one step in a series of events they're having for this festive season and beyond. Morning Barbados is right back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Take CBC everywhere you go. Just one click to www.cbc.bb and you can watch TV8 live or listen to your favorite radio station. Enjoy the energy of 98.1 FM. Quality talk and music on Q100.7 FM and the great vibes of 94.7 FM. Go now to cbc.bb. Log on, stay on, be informed, and be entertained.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6.5 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. After all, 'tis the season of fun too. And so, here's what we'll do. I'll share with you on your screen some lyrics. So you have to watch. And then you finish the lyrics. You get it? You will finish the lyrics based upon what I share with you on the screen. But you will call me on 228-5562 or 228-5563 to finish those lyrics. I wish you well. And they're all Christmas favorites, so I think you're very, very familiar with them as well. So here we go. Look at your screen. Finish this lyric. Maisie, in all honesty, what? 228-5562 or 228-5563. This is a Bajan classic indeed. Finish that one for me. And I'd like you to sing if you can. But if you can't sing, don't feel afraid. You can do it too. You can talk to me. 228-5562 or 63. Finish the line in this Bajan classic. Maisie, in all honesty, I almost sang it and almost said it. But it's your turn. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Finish this Bajan classic on your screen. Maisie, in all honesty, what comes after that line? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Do you have it, folks? 228-5562 or 63. Finish that line. Finish that line. What happened? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, who's calling?
In all honesty, why not under the Christmas tree, Maisie?
I invest because. Go ahead. Finish your thing.
Maisie, in all honesty.
Gail, the captain? Is this Gail?
You
Hello,
know
hello,
that
hello.
voice?
Is this Gail? Turn off the TV. Turn off the TV.
Do you
because
know that voice, Mr. B?
Hold on. If you don't listen to TV, listen to me. I thought it was Gail. You sounded
Oh
like
my
Gail. Is this
God,
Gail?
Pearson. Mr. B, it's too early.
So who's this?
It's Norma. It's Norma.
My good friend Norms, how you? So let me go again. Let's go. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. So Mizzy, in all honesty, why not under the Christmas tree? You're right to laugh. Norms, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much. That's my good friend Norma, my buddy, my travel partner, Norma, right there. Okay, Norms, thank you very much. That's one down. Let's put up the other one. Let's see if you can get this one sorted out now. That's a red plastic by Classic, by the way, Maisie for Christmas. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Do we have the other one ready? Let's see. What is this lyric? Here we go. I can't see this. Flash my dreads, flash my dreads, flash my natty dreads. Oh, what fun it is to ride. Flash my dreads, flash my dreads, flash my natty dreads. Oh, what fun it is to ride. You know, sometimes we sing these songs and we don't have a clue what we're singing. Do you know what comes next? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now. Let me know. Flash my dread. I never knew those were the words. I used to sing something totally different. Flash my dreads, flash my dreads, flash my natty dreads. And I'm saying it in rhythm. Oh, what fun it is to ride. What comes next? I just used the rhythm. So I think you know it now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. I just learned the words for the first time. Flash my dreads, flash my dreads. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
Hey, you can finish this one? Let me hear you. I'm listening.
Can't remember the words. Is that oh what fun it is to ride on a sea something. I sing the wrong words.
Me too. So let me hear what words you have in your head. Oh, what fun it is to ride.
I sing a sea something.
This is Billy?
Yes, please.
You can't sing.
I can't sing. I can't sing.
Thank you, here. Thank you, Billy.
Okay.
Oh, my worship.
All right,
I have never seen the words before. You help me here, folks. Finish this for us. Sing it for us. Flash my dreads, flash my dreads, flash my natty dreads. Oh, what fun it is to ride. Boom, 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 boom. Where does it go with that song? 228-5562 or 228-5563. So, folks, when you call, please do not listen to your television. Just turn down the volume because this little ear alone, it confuses me. So just turn down the volume so you and I can hear you a whole lot clearer. 228-5562 or 228-5563. So once we answer, turn down the volume and you're good to go. So flash my dreads, flash my dreads, flash my natty dreads. It's a reggae piece. Oh, what fun it is to ride. Morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
Hi. How do you do?
I'm pretty well.
Okay,
and
sing
you?
I'm well too, thanks. Sing the rest of it. Let me hear you. Oh, what fun
In a
it is to...
one-horse open sleigh.
Sing it.
I can sing.
Yes, you can.
In a one-horse open...
You heard what happened just now, right?
I hear.
What does that tell you?
I'm incorrect.
You are correct. You're incorrect. Thank you so much for trying.
Okay, bye-bye.
You're welcome. All of us are lost. Flash my dreads, flash my dreads, flash my natty dreads. Oh, what fun it is to ride. What's next? 228-5562 or 63. Peter himself is trying to figure out because we sang whatever came to our minds. That is what we do. We just want to enjoy the song and the rhythm, but there are words, there are lyrics that have to be sung. What are the lyrics that follow? Oh, what fun it is to ride. What happens after that in that reggae rendition? This is not your classic English rendition. Morning, hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hello? Hello. Is
Hi,
someone
good
there?
morning.
Good morning. Good. So, yes, let me hear you now.
Flash my dreads, flash my dreads, flash my naughty dreads. What a fun it is to ride on a sloping sleigh. Oh, flash my dread, flash my dread, flash my naughty dread. Oh, what?
Did you hear that noise? Did you hear that noise?
Yes.
All right. You're out. In other words,
all right.
you're
Thank
out.
you.
Thank you for trying, though. Thank you for trying. You're laughing. I don't know. I honestly do not know. So I honestly need your help to finish that line. All right? We'll do that when we come right back. But we'll take a break here on Morning Barbados. Back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Take CBC everywhere you go. Just one click to www.cbc.bb and you can watch TV8 live or listen to your favorite radio station. Enjoy the energy of 98.1 FM. Quality talk and music on Q100.7 FM and the great vibes of 94.7.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Morning Barbados News is brought to you by Jordan Supermarkets Spend and Eat 2025 competition.
Time for the news now. Cancer patients in Barbados soon will not have to travel overseas for critical care. That's because the long-awaited state-of-the-art linear accelerator is now operational at the QEH. With the new system in place, patients can get essential treatment at home. Rachel Agard reports.
The Halcyon Linear Accelerator, launched 2 weeks ago and officially commissioned on Tuesday, uses daily imaging that allows doctors to clearly view tumors each time a patient is treated. Minister of Health and Wellness, Senator Dr. the Most Honorable Jerome Walcott, said the advanced technology represents a transformative moment for cancer management, offering greater precision, enhanced safety, and renewed hope for patients.
It will, of course, mean shorter, more comfortable treatment sessions. It will mean fewer side effects. And most importantly, it will mean that our patients can approach their treatment sessions with confidence, knowing they are receiving care that meets the highest international standards, while remaining here in Barbados with their families and loved ones.
QEH Chief Executive Officer Neil Clark says the commissioning of the high-tech machine strengthens the hospital's ability to deliver high-quality modern treatment every day. And he says there is more in works to improve that further.
We are building a modern, digital, future-ready hospital. And today, whilst we celebrate the implementation of the LINAC, we started the procurement of the advanced MRI diagnostics, and we are progressing with a $130 million new equipment replacement programme. All as part of the biggest modernisation programme in the hospital's history. Not to mention the $400 million on the new Enmore site, 300 new staff already approved, and the new hospital information system being installed right now.
Medical physicist Corey Drake says the linear accelerator will augur well not only for Barbados but the region.
For Barbados, this means shorter wait times, world-class radiotherapy right here at home. For the Caribbean, it positions the Queen Elizabeth Hospital as a leader capable of supporting regional collaboration, training, and standardized high-quality care across CARICOM. This investment aligns perfectly with the QEH strategic plan and our national commitment of modernizing healthcare and improving outcomes for all Barbadians.
More than 150 patients currently rely on radiotherapy for their survival and well-being, and that number is expected to increase by about 10 patients each month. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Barbados is strengthening its food security efforts with the launch of a new climate-smart agriculture food project designed to help farmers to use water more efficiently. The initiative is a partnership with the West Ham, whose CEO Akesio Bukaccioni yesterday handed over weather and soil monitoring equipment to the Ministry of Agriculture. Here's a report from Deanza Roberts.
International partners joined the ministry to officially introduce one of the world's leading digital agriculture platforms. It is a system already recognized by the Food and Agriculture Organization as a global innovation. Bukaccioni noted that Barbados is the first Caribbean country to fully deploy this technology.
This product, Irrigoptimal, has been chosen by FAO as one of the digital leading applications some years ago, and it's currently one of the best innovation in the sector. Today, the first Caribbean country that is really let's say grounding solution, because if you look at the internet, everyone is talking about artificial intelligence, about agriculture and everything. Few, let's say, organizations, ministries and others are really deploying on ground the technologies and try to improve their economy and their agriculture.
With climate change increasingly threatening food production, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Terry Bascom, said the project will focus on smarter irrigation practices.
The challenges that we're experiencing with climate change has forced many countries, developing countries, some developed, but countries like Barbados that are considered to be water scarce and as well as water stressed, to find new ways in which they can produce more food using less resources or inputs in the process. And we all know that one of the most important inputs in the production process in agriculture is water. And therefore, what this project would do is to provide farmers with new ways of treating to the amount of irrigation that they need to utilize.
Youth involvement is also a key feature of the program. Bascom revealed that at least 2 secondary school students will be selected to travel to Malta to get first-hand experience with the new technology.
And it is hoped that when they return, children are sometimes more effective at spreading the word than we adults are. And we're hoping that that happens.
The ministry is encouraging farmers and the wider public to participate as Barbados continues adapting to the challenges of climate change. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Well, the government is continuing efforts to bring vacant land and abandoned buildings back into productive use. Acting Prime Minister William Duguid says authorities are actively exploring ways to leverage state-owned land to attract private investment for regeneration and housing projects. He said this topic will be a key focus of the 34th General Assembly of Ministers and High-Level Authorities of Housing and Urban Development for Latin America and the Caribbean, now on in Barbados. That 3-day meeting is themed Financing the Urban Transition, Housing, Climate Change Adaptation and Resilience. The acting Prime Minister was addressing the General Assembly at Hilton, Barbados.
Housing, lands and maintenance has been undertaking a number of policy initiatives in keeping with some of the topics discussed. In collaboration with the IDB through a technical cooperation, work is ongoing to look at the reuse vacant lots and derelict houses in the urban corridor for future housing development. I will be looking forward to seeing that, because when I was minister, that was a goal that we had. And it is always a challenge to be able to redirect and reuse derelict houses or vacant lots. The areas identified are all issues that we in Latin America and the Caribbean region are grappling with.
Minister of Housing and Lands, Chris Gibbs, says the forum enables stakeholders to share national experiences, explore strategies for building resilience and sustainable options, and develop new policy frameworks discussing innovative financing options and strengthening regional collaboration.
We have a packed agenda, and I know that it will be robust. We will have effective discussions on various topics set before us. It is also my hope that at the end we can agree on a workable plan of action relating to promoting access to affordable housing as a human right, developing policies geared towards sustainable development and overall enhancing the strength of this regional body.
Senator is raising fresh concerns about people leaving their elderly relatives at the hospital. Minister of Energy and Business, Senator Lisa Cummins, addressed the issue as she opened a debate in the Senate on a resolution for Parliament to take note of the 2023 to 2028 National Policy on Aging. She says government is working to address the problem, including through the construction of the state-of-the-art geriatric hospital at Waterford.
I don't understand the idea of dumping our elderly in an institution and never looking back at them. I most definitely also don't understand the idea of dumping our elderly while still simultaneously happily taking the benefits that are assigned to them by way of their pension checks and their support services. I don't understand that. But while I find that behavior deeply problematic and heartless, I also, Mr. President, am very clear that there may very well be those persons who are caregivers who just don't know where to turn for help, who themselves are struggling and don't know where to turn to get help for themselves, and they feel as though that is the safest place for their elderly.
The minister also expressed concern that many elderly citizens are being robbed of their jewelry and other belongings. She said this was why government was moving to strengthen protections for seniors through updating legislation, improving enforcement, establishing clearer reporting channels, and regulating long-term care services.
Because sometimes, and I've seen a case where, Mr. President, you have relatives who come, they have an older relative who is experiencing early onset Alzheimer's or early onset dementia. They get power of attorney signed over to them, and before you know it, their dependents, their children, are cut out of their lives, taken to long-term care facilities, no access by their children and their loved ones, and some relative has just come in and taken over this person's life simply because they're suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia, and they're not necessarily in their clear state of mind. That also, Mr. President, is elder abuse.
A 27-year-old man was remanded to prison when he appeared in court yesterday to face 10 charges, one of them for the murder of Jabari Carrington last month. Gurinder Alexander Thomas of Yearwood Land, Bank Hall, St. Michael, appeared in court number 1 at the District A, where he was not required to plead to the indictable charges which stem from a November 19th incident. In addition to being accused of killing Carrington, Thomas is charged with 4 counts of endangering life, 2 counts of criminal damage, use of a firearm, possession of a firearm, and he's scheduled to reappear in court on the 18th of December. President of Cricket West Indies, Dr. Kishore Shallow, says he will not rush any decision on whether he will step down as head of the regional cricket body following his entry into representational politics. Dr. Shallow secured a landmark victory in the North Leewards constituency in the general elections in St. Vincent, winning the seat for the New Democratic Party. His transition from sports administration to elected offices has sparked debate across the cricket fraternity, with some commentators arguing that national political duties may be incompatible with leading CWI. But speaking with SVG-TV after his win, Dr. Shallow emphasized that any decision regarding his presidency will be guided by the responsibilities assigned to him in government.
We sat in an interview, probably more than once, where we talk about, there's absolutely no conflict. There's potential to serve both. Again, based on the portfolio I'm given, key factors is work management, workload management. If I can manage both, then I will proceed. If not, then I'll have to resign. But we'll see how it goes.
More news coming up at noon. Morning Barbados in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Morning Barbados News is brought to you by Jordan Supermarkets Spend and Eat 2025 competition.
CBC everywhere you go. Just one click to www.cbc.bb and you can watch TV8 live or listen to your favorite radio station. Enjoy the energy of 98.1 FM. Quality talk and music on Q100.7 FM and the great vibes of 94.7 FM. Go now to cbc.bb. Log on, stay on, be informed, and be entertained.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 19 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to the continuing conversation around the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And so joining in that activism is the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies. And so joining me at the moment is the president of that association, Sakina Bakaria. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And with her is Sabrina Waith, who is a women's rights activist, but a Muslim as well. To you ladies, I say good morning. Let's talk a little bit about yourselves, because I've never heard of your organization before.
Okay, so the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies, we're 15 years this year. It was established as a community group just for social activities. It has since evolved into addressing advocacy, community activities, educational and professional development, as well as social activities as well. So we do a wide range of work across the community within our Muslim community and the wider Barbadian community. One of our longest running initiatives is the hamper drive, which we do every year before Ramadan to assist persons within our community. Over the years, that the vouchers or the hampers that we would have done has also benefited persons in the wider Barbadian community through either personal networking or in the past during COVID and stuff with the government-led initiatives.
So more and more we're getting to understand how the community, the Muslim community works, but there's still pockets of ignorance where that's concerned.
Of course.
And understanding the role of the woman within the Muslim community. Explain that for us.
So women have rights within the Muslim community. Islam gives us the power to educate ourselves. It gives us the power to earn our own finances. It gives us the power to have our own things. A woman should be protected and provided for and cared for. Show kindness. Likewise, you show kindness to everyone, but the women are revered in the faith of Islam. So sometimes cultural differences tend to send the perception that women are submissive and are meant to be, restricted, but that's not what the religion says. That's not how the religion advocates for women.
Mm-hmm. And so, Sabrina, you got involved as a women's rights advocate. Why? What led you to making that decision to stand as an advocate for women's rights?
Well, I'm a final year social work student, so through professional and personal experience, as well as my studies and collaborating with BAML last year, I felt it necessary to be a voice for those unheard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in that collaboration last year, what have you seen when you really looked within what was happening, the wider demographic of Barbados, to see what's happening with women? What did you see?
Well, I would have recognized that we have a matriarchal society, and therefore violence against women doesn't just impact, it isn't just behind closed doors. It impacts much more than that. It impacts our children, and it becomes a societal crisis. And domestic violence or violence against women and girls, it causes isolation, and there's a silence as women. And so it inspired me to be that voice, to join with women, to extend so that women who have been silenced will hear that and be motivated to leave and to thrive on their own.
Based upon how you just responded to me, it sounds as if, when mass men silence women, it's impacting so many more than just the woman alone.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it impacts men as well, because these women have sons, and these sons are impacted, and that trauma doesn't just stop in childhood, it leads up into adulthood.
But Sakina, what you do in your association is not just look at domestic abuse alone. You look at the whole range of emotional abuse and others that happen.
Mm-hmm. We found that it was necessary this year with our campaign, and that's where we collaborated with Sabrina as well. In that this year's theme is Unite Against Digital Violence Against Women and Girls, and what better way to educate but via a digital platform. And oftentimes society misconceives domestic violence as just physical, but it's not physical only. It's all of the other aspects of it. So we thought that we highlight different aspects of it, and then highlight what the faith says, highlight Quranic verses of healing, and just show people that these things, they may not recognize them as domestic violence, but repeated episodes of belittling you or holding on to your funds or restricting your spending, those are all elements in relationships. Those are all elements of abuse.
You mentioned the Quran for just a moment. Mm-hmm. So then in situations like that, what does the Quran say?
The Quran teaches us to be kind to each other. The Quran teaches us not to be hurtful towards each other, not to control, it teaches us protection and kindness. And it's in using the verses, so having survived myself, it's using those verses of healing to help you grow and propel forward. We are often in a society where we don't discuss social topics, and within my community it is the same. But I thought it was limited to my community, but it is not. In working with the National Organization of Women and in collaborating with women's organizations across the island, a lot of the mentorship and the work that I've done is from faith-based organizations of other faiths, not Muslim, and we have similar issues. So it's not a Muslim issue, it's not a Christian issue, it's not a woman's issue, it's a societal issue.
You used the words just now, having survived it myself.
Yes,
what does that mean?
Yes, because I am a survivor of domestic violence. I would not have, and I was an advocate long before, but it's also being in the situation, not acknowledging, not recognizing, and not actually accepting that this is what it is. In relationships, many women tend to give thinking things will get better, but it's not always that way. You have to choose yourself, and we're often restricted by our either finances, our children, our society. What will people say? How will we survive? But you have to choose yourself, and it's okay to choose yourself. And there's no faith, in my opinion, that teaches you not to put yourself above others when you're choosing what is better for yourself and your family.
But it's finding the pluck and the energy to do that.
That's correct.
And that's difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, but there are support mechanisms out there. There are persons, whether it is like hotlines, whether it is faith-based groups, women's ministries, there are places out there to get help. What we would like to see, or what we need to see, is a societal approach to getting this help. We have programs within other ministries where, the youth that need employment, they can get employment. You often have women leaving long-term relationships with limited educational, we have a housing crisis as it stands. We have to put mechanisms in place from a societal perspective, from a governmental perspective, that can help them rehabilitate. Not a permanent solution, but a temporary solution to help you, a program of such when it comes to housing, education, psychosocial support. And then we also need to look at how are we healing the perpetrators? What mechanisms do we have in place to ensure that a woman may go and get a restraining order, but that does not stop the perpetrator from reaching out to her? So what mechanisms are there in place for that perpetrator to be held accountable? You have situations where I have a paper, but a paper is not going to stop a person from reaching out to hurt me. So it's the societal approach, using the work of the advocates as well, because the advocates are often on the ground. The policymakers set the policies in place, and without the advocates' input, it's going to be difficult, because you are setting policy from a governmental perspective to better society, but do you really understand each individual case is not the same? Each challenge is not the same.
Yeah. And so, Sabrina, are we, as the advocate that Sakina was talking about, what would you want to see legislation look like so that we put in place those guardrails, protective orders that people would actually need?
Well, that's a really good question. I believe that there needs to be input from the organizations that are in place, and reinforce whatever is put in place. So as Sakina would have said, if I say don't move, what stops you from moving? And when you do move, what are the repercussions of that? And are those repercussions being is it being done? Are those being executed correctly, or is it just a slap on the wrist? Oh, don't do it again. Yeah. So that needs to occur for some change to actually be seen in our society.
And we have to enforce.
Yes, that's the word.
Right, but we need to enforce. So until
Definitely.
Enforcement happens, it's going to be repeated.
Yes.
And so when people are held accountable is when we begin to see the real change beginning
Definitely.
to occur. And it's because it's a practiced behavior over centuries, it's going to take time, and we need to be patient with it. There's another aspect to my mind of abuse, which is, and thankfully Barbados has been over the years provided opportunity for every single human being who calls themselves Barbadian for free education.
Yes.
But sometimes that is the lack of education is used as a sword against women in particular. So the opportunity for some girls, from young girls, is not given to them. Do you see that happening a lot, or is it still happening in Barbados from your experience?
It is still happening in terms of not only young girls, but like women who would have just maybe gotten into relationships at very young ages and maintain those relationships. So then you then rely on the male in the relationship to more or less provide, because maybe he has a better education or he has a skill set that gives him employment and financial resources, so that when it comes back down to the power and control of the male, and why the female would not find it so easy to leave the situations, because when you're in that cycle, it repeats himself. You go through a calm phase, you go through the tension building, and then you go through the explosive stage, and you will go through through the explosive stage, knowing that maybe in the past the pattern would have calmed down, but it repeats itself. So you're caught in that cycle with the power and control.
Are women really as open to talk about these things happening to them?
Not really? That much. No, they're not. You have to be safe. You have to find a safe space, a non-judgmental space to understand that it's okay to talk about it and that people will listen to you and people will genuinely want to help. Because oftentimes in any society, people will hear what you have to say and, put their own add their own bits to it and send a different story. So we have to have environments where it's safe to discuss these topics. And 16 Days of Activism is a campaign that's once a year, but these are situations that people deal with every single day. It extends past 16 Days of Activism. So we have to keep that conversation alive outside of just the 16 days.
And we'll keep this conversation alive with the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We are in the season where we're looking at the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And though it's 16 days and ends on December 10th, as Sakina said, this is really an ongoing activism that we need to keep foremost in our minds as we go. So at the end of the 10th of December, it does not end then. We hope that we've started enough of a conversation and a movement that you are far more aware now of your behavior, one with the other, and relationships. But sometimes we don't quite understand what abuse looks like and really is. And this is part of the campaign that the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies has embarked on. It's called Voices Unheard, Awareness of All Types of Domestic Abuse. And so I'm with Sakina Bakari, who's the president of the association, and she's brought along another member of the association who's also a women's rights advocate and a Muslim. And so I'm glad that I have you here, ladies, because again, we're debunking the myths about Muslim ladies and the Muslim community, but we're also seeing that you're joining in helping to change the fabric of how this society operates as well. Let's talk a little bit about this campaign that you've embarked on. Why that theme, Voices Unheard, Awareness of All Types of Domestic Abuse?
So before we get into that, let me just correct. Sabrina is collaborating with us. Sabrina is not a Muslim.
Okay.
So Sabrina has collaborated with us last year. We met during our social work, pursue a social work degree, but she collaborated with us last year. Last year, our campaign was more of an in-person discussion. This year, Sabrina brought the idea, and it's something that was on my what I would have discussed with what we were planning to do. So having Sabrina on board helped kind of tie down the being able to format the posts and get everything there and work together. So it shows that it's not limited within our community. We can work together with persons outside of the community and share it. So,
Sabrina, I'm sorry,
Sabrina.
first of all, and I correct that publicly, but talk to me a little bit about the campaign then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we would have started these 16 days, 16 stories by sharing a form that persons can fill completely anonymous to share their stories, so that we can disseminate that information, so that other women would know they're not alone. They're not the only ones experiencing this. And oftentimes, gaslighting is something that occurs, which is emotional abuse, and that can cause women to feel isolated in their experience. So 16 days, 16 stories, voices unheard, is actually utilizing the UN's theme for this year, which is ending digital violence, by disseminating information and educational bites that way digitally, so that the same way perpetrators may be using those platforms to victimize women, women can then also access that information. And in the format of digitally, it allows persons to share. You can share on WhatsApp, Facebook, and so it reaches even farther in the Barbadian community, so that persons can see the warning signs. And it isn't just women, it's young girls as well getting into relationships. They can acknowledge, oh, this is what I'm seeing, and it would allow them to then leave that situation before it even begins.
What are some of those warning signs that sometimes women turn their eyes away from, that you think they need to start paying closer attention to?
Well, I can start with physical abuse, which is often the one that is seen. And one of the warning signs would be when your partner is angry. How do they react? Do they outburst and throw something at you, or do they yell at you, and do they call you names? Those types of things. You say, oh, he only does that when he's angry. No. If it begins as a plant, if it begins small, it will grow. And if you water it by pushing it away, it will continue to fester until women often find themselves, why didn't I see this in the beginning? That's physical abuse. Emotional abuse, it can be belittling you. You think you're so smart. Or also you're at university, so you think you're all of that. So then women feel like, oh no, I'm not all of that, and become defensive. So it allows young girls who are attending university or whatever stage they're at to recognize these warning signs and not allow it to fester.
And then there's the financial abuse.
Yes.
I'm withholding from you.
Yes.
What really is yours.
Yeah, and it doesn't just stop at withholding funds. It could be control of funds. You make more than me, so do this, do that. And that can also back persons into a corner, women into a corner, and pressuring you to taking loans or to be a guarantor for a loan that you don't want to be part of. All of those things, or saying, okay, well, you took out the loan, you have to pay it back on your own. That is financial abuse as well. And those aren't things that are often spoken about. So having this platform, and again, it's not just 16 days, this information being put on a platform is there for as long as the internet exists. And so it will allow persons to access that information and disseminate that information.
So where can we go to access this information? Because I may not be on your social page, so I don't know that this exists.
Yes. So BAML on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yes.
BAML_BB.
Yes.
BAML_BB on Instagram.
BAML_BB, and you can find it on Insta.
Yeah.
And that's where you go to start, begin to read for yourself, see for yourself, understand for yourself, and then begin to take the action in defense of self.
Correct.
Because oftentimes, as you know, we sit, you ladies sit generally, and you're right. You give in, you give up because you figure, I can't do better.
Right.
I'm lost. I'm hopeless. You ask the question, where do I go now to live? Where do I take the children? This man, I need his money as well to help guide and take care of the family. I don't earn enough. Or he loves me.
Yeah.
That's why he hits me. He loves me. That's why he says that. He only wants me to look better, to feel better about myself, but he's using abusive words, as you said, Sabrina.
Yes.
And so this platform, BAML_BB, AML_BB on Instagram, you use now to reinforce positive messages.
Yes.
And that's the whole point. We're talking today about the digital space and how people have been using the digital space to hurt others. In this instance, you're using the digital space to help others as well. And this is what you do. But is there an opportunity for those watching who say, I really want to talk to you guys, because I want to tell my story and I want someone to hear me? How do you do that?
So our contact information is on social media as well. However, we are going to be joining now on the move this weekend. So on Saturday, the National Organization of Women have organized now on the move a community bus tour. So they're making several stops from Warren's, Cheapside, Sky Mall. They're making several stops between 9 and 1 on Saturday. So we are part of that group. And on that group, there is a full busload of persons who are activists, who are advocates, who do the community work, and who are professionals who can, talk to people, listen to them, and help them through the situation.
So as the bus stops in your area, come out. Don't be afraid, because you have safety in community.
Yes.
There's a safety in the group of people who are feeling the way you feel and who want to help you as well. Come and tell. Come and share.
And then, and then reach out to somebody. If you can't find a women's organization, there is the police. There is the Family Conflict Unit. There is the BPW hotline. There is Advocates Against Domestic Abuse, their hotline. There is the Ministry helpline. Reach out, because even if that's not the direct link, they will point you in the direction of somebody to get the help. But the first step is accepting and asking for help.
Indeed. So don't sit today and take the lash. Don't sit today and take the bad words. Don't sit today and take the withholding of. You can do something about it. Reach out. One space you can try is BAML_BB on Instagram. We know a lot of you live on that platform. Try it there. Or as Sakina said, reach out to the police. Reach out to someone and get some help. Don't suffer in silence. That's my command to you. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very much,
and Sabrina White, for joining us this morning.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. They're from the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies, and they're doing their part to end gender-based violence. Morning Barbados comes back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Take CBC everywhere you go. Just one click to www.cbc.bb and you can watch TV8 live or listen to your favorite radio station. Enjoy the energy of 98.1 FM, quality talk and music on Q100.7 FM, and the great vibes of 94.7 FM. Go now to cbc.bb. Log on, stay on, be informed, and be entertained.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Also, we just want to reflect for just a moment on what happened last Sunday at the Independence Day parade and ceremony at the Kensington Oval. The Prime Minister also spoke, and she too made a very impactful speech. And we want to share that yet again with you. Take a look.
Quite a long process there, but much to get through. Congratulations to all involved.
An eagerly awaited speech by the Honourable Mia Moore-Motley, Prime Minister of Barbados.
Your Excellency, the Most Honorable Jeffrey Davidson Bostic, President of Barbados. The Honorable Chief Justice, the Most Honorable Mr. Leslie Haynes, and Mrs. Haynes, the Honorable Prime Minister of Guyana, Brigadier Mark Phillips, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, and Madam Justice Jackie Cornelius, members of Cabinet, members of the Judiciary, members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and above all else, members of the highest office of this nation, citizens of Barbados, good morning to you all. My fellow Barbadians and sons and daughters of this soil, wherever you may be hearing my voice, whether here or across the world, a pleasant and sunny welcome, good morning. Thank you to the Almighty for the blessings of this morning, including the showers of blessings, Mr. President, that have now attended your installation. We gather at Kensington at this moment, but we want first and foremost to congratulate all who received awards this morning. We believe that the conferral of honors is a special occasion for each and every one of you. But we also recognize this morning not only the individuals, but the governmental entities who, by reason of their commitment and distinguished accomplishments working on behalf of the people of this nation, have been recognized today. I also want to single out those who have not yet received their award, but on whom the award has been conferred for the Gold Award of Achievement. For those who gave extraordinary service to taking our country off the blacklist that were put on by the OECD and the Financial Action Task Force. This was what we met when we came to office, and that you, under the distinguished leadership of the Honourable Attorney General and the Honourable Senator Lisa Cummins, with those who contributed along the way, have been able to remove that blockage and allow us to conduct commerce without fear or favour. Let me, however, move to two intense moments of pride. We are proud Bajans, and if I were like Satchmore, I would sing, I am a proud Barbadian, but you and I both know that singing was not a gift conferred upon me at birth. So that let me simply say to our President, and I trust that the emotion will not overcome me, sir, but you are a true son of the soil. For you to have been installed here as our nation's second president, a couple hundred meters from where you were born, brings immense emotion to me. You have served on this journey in a very quiet, dignified way, performing relentless acts of service to our nation, first as a soldier, then as an ADC to two Governors General of our nation, Sir Dighton Ward and Sir Hugh Springer, then as a public servant, regional in helping us to create the security framework for the Joint Regional Communications Center and the CARICOM Impacts Agency, ensuring that our Caribbean community benefits from the strongest architecture of security. And then, of course, sir, as a Member of Parliament for this wonderful capital city of Bridgetown, and as we all know in Barbados, as Minister of Health and Wellness. You are now, sir, our head of state. And it gives me great joy to be able to address you as Your Excellency. In our darkest hours, you captured what this nation needed. No retreat, no surrender. And long may that be the hallmark of this nation. On behalf of a grateful people, sir, I wish you every success in this office. And second, equally as joyful and appropriately at Kensington Oval, we say congratulations to our Bajan cricketers. The Barbados Pride brought home yesterday the Super 50 Cup back home for the first time since 2017. Let me hear you. Let them hear you. And let them know we want it in 2026 and 2027 and 2028 and every year thereafter, because this is who we are. And as we stand on the world's third most iconic cricket ground, long may our cricketers continue to bring distinction to this nation. All due respect to you, Prime Minister Phillips, we will carry you along sometimes, but this one is for the Barbados Pride. I was going to tell you 3 cheers for all who have received awards for our president and for the Barbados Pride, but you beat me to it. But let's go again. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And to our young people who received the Prime Minister's Leadership Badge, may you forever remember this moment and always recall that you are leaders. Behave like those who lead and embrace it always in all that you do. My friends, this is a special moment in our history. You have heard me speak literally before about our missions and our beacons of renewal. Our 6 missions that are intended to make our country great, and our commitments to be better Bajans through our beacons of renewal. We believe that it is entirely possible for us to be world-class by 2030 in the delivery of service to each other. We believe that these missions will and can be attained by 2030. But this is only a signpost, for we all know that beyond 2030, we must continue that journey to be the best that we can be. We believe that while government must continue to do the large transformational things, that it is equally required to do the small things that help people understand and appreciate that they can cope and sleep better each and every night. That is our solemn commitment to you. We may not always get it right, but we will always try to do so. We will continue to listen, parish by parish, and rub shoulders, recognizing, however, that no government, however caring and however capable of achieving the large and small things, can do it alone. And that is why the concept of governance does not only embrace the role of government, but also embraces the role of individual citizens. We cannot, my friends, build this Barbados alone. The real shift must come from each of us as individual citizens, choosing to live and to behave in a manner that makes our nation better. We, when we do so, can build better individuals, stronger families, mold stronger communities, and indeed forge the strongest nation that we can do. The truth is that when we walk and talk about crime, we know that reclaiming our communities is also at the center of it, and not just simply law enforcement. If we are to keep Barbados safe and prosperous, then we must also not just allow the police and the courts to do their work, but the choice that we make in our homes and in our neighborhoods is equally important. The choice not to harbor criminals or wrongdoing. The choice not to glorify violence by signs or actions, or lyrics. The choice not to turn away when a young person is drifting into trouble, but instead to guide and to open doors. And I have every confidence, Your Excellency, that your example will be one that will inspire so many. And I know of your plans which you shall announce to the nation, which will also help us on this journey. These last few years have asked more of you as Bajans, as parents, as workers, as business owners, as students, as pensioners stretching every dollar. But I ask you today, please do not feel weary. Please ensure that you know that this weariness, that even if you think it is there, comes not from standing still or going downhill, but it comes from us climbing the mountain of achievement and progress that we must do as a people. You know, each of us knows that there's always a moment when we say, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I have anything left. But we all know that if we push and push and push, we can find that ability to keep going and to keep rising. My friends, I tell you that as we do that, we will remember the words of His Excellency, no retreat, no surrender. So my friends, as we begin this journey tomorrow, to our 60th anniversary of independence and to our 5th year as the world's newest republic, and as we look forward to the year 2030 as our first signpost for the achievements that we have set ourselves, I ask you today, all of you, each and every one of you, here and wherever you are hearing my voice, to do something profound, to fall in love with Barbados again. I say, to fall in love with Barbados again. For when we fall in love again, love will help carry us and give us the passion that we need to keep the distance and to keep going. Love is enough for us. And when I say so, I want you to believe that if we love and are disciplined enough, we can truly be world class by 2030, and then in our service to each other, and then start the other signposts that we need at 2040 and 2050. Our new president, as I said, is the embodiment of what we now ask of every citizen. A man who accepted responsibility, did not become weary, rose to the occasion, and at every stage of his life has reflected love of country and love of people. Long may this remain an inspiration to every boy and girl, not just those born in the city of Bridgetown, but from Pike Corner to Gemswick, from Fitzvillage across to Bath St. John. And I say simply to all of us that as they recall his example, let us, as we do that and renew our love affair with our nation, that we remember always the words of our national pledge by committing to live by it and by committing to do credit to our nation wherever we shall go. May God bless you. May God bless Barbados. And may we do credit by our living to our nation in all that we do. God bless us. God bless us. God bless us. Thank you.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Take CBC everywhere you go. Just one click to www.cbc.bb and you can watch TV8 live.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
That's it for today, everybody. We want to wish you a lovely day. My crew joins me in saying that to you, and we wish you a lovely day to come back tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.